Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, for the content for tonight, we have got to bring some breaking news that's coming out around the Senate deal. Now, you guys know that negotiation is going back and forth, and we've covered it from the very inception of the conversation to where it is currently. However, what we've got now is other senators on the Republican side, especially Mike Lee from Utah, coming out openly and saying there is no deal. This thing doesn't exist. This is incredibly important because he's breaking ranks with what has so far been a very unified, quiet, don't say anything on the Republican side. And it's very interesting because the exact same time that's happening, you've got the media coming out over here, and the media is also parroting something very similar. Everything will be linked in the description box below for you guys. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts on this one in the comments field. And if you think we earned that subscription, we are always looking to get as many people in the fold as we can to get this type of information out quickly to make sure our Second Amendment rights go forward. Thank you so much in advance. Make sure that notification bell is on, and let's get it. Check this out. No deal to end gun violence, U.S. Republican lawmaker says. Now, this is from Reuters. This is yesterday, right? So this isn't something that's from a week and a half ago. This happened this weekend. Washington, June 19th, Reuters. Lawmakers remain far apart on the most important gun safety issues now under debate in Congress. A Republican senator said Sunday, casting doubts on hopes the United States could pass the first federal gun legislation in decades. Now, to the point, no Republicans across the board have openly come out in resistance to anything, right? There's a reason for that. I'm still waiting on it to fully play out, but I have my hypothesis. But that's not what this video is about. Quote, "The issue that we have here is that we don't have a bill," Utah Republican Senator Mike Lee told Fox News Sunday. We don't have a bill. Remember, that's what we talked about earlier on in this entire process, was if the legislative text does not match the draft agreement, they've got nothing. Well, currently, they can't even get to a text arrangement, and we're going to hit on why here in a second, because that's where the mainstream media comes in. Quote, "I kept asking to see text, and it became apparent that they didn't have a bill, and in fact, they don't have a deal at all," Lee said. Now, take that for what it is. This is a sitting senator. You could say this is a leader in the Republican Party on the Senate side. He's saying, yeah, I was asking for a bill, and it turns out there's not only no legislative text, there's not even a deal. That's huge because he's saying it to the media across the board. He said that on all the talk shows on Sunday. Check this out. A bipartisan group of lawmakers have an agreement on a series of very broad promises, Lee said, but on the most contentious, controversial, potentially impactful provisions, there is no language. Again, reinforcing that point. Here's another source. Check this out. And when you see this reinforced, it's interesting. GOP Senator Lee tells colleagues to hold off on backing gun bill outline. That's from today, June 20th. Okay? A top Republican senator warned his fellow lawmakers Sunday against throwing their support behind the framework of new gun control legislation until the actual bill text has been hammered out, which again is what we've been talking about. But this is now the second source that we're talking about. Quote, "There is still no deal, and yet we continue to be asked by colleagues, by constituents, by reporters, are you supporting this bill?" Senator Mike Lee, Republican Utah, told Fox News Sunday. Quote, "This is a very dangerous way to legislate," he added. "Behind closed doors, you need the transparency of a public conversation with the bill text in front of you." He's hitting really hard on the fact that there's nothing in existence. Like I said, that is breaking from the norm that has been the Republican stance thus far. Now, this is where we start to actually get in the same article what the problems are, and this is where the media comes in. Check this out. At least two key points remain at issue between Republican and Democratic negotiators. The so-called boyfriend loophole, which concerns whether dating partners guilty of domestic violence can own firearms, and incentives for states to enact so-called red flag laws, which is what we've been talking about for a while on this channel. But check this out. This is from CNN. This is where the media starts to reinforce. Here's what you need to know about the boyfriend loophole holding up gun safety negotiations. That's from Monday morning, June 20th. That's this morning. Okay, let's see what ABC says. This is also interesting. Experts say proposed federal gun safety measures might not have prevented the Uvalde situation. Okay, so when you have a sitting senator come out and say there's no bill, there's no legislative language, we shouldn't even be talking about this because the deal doesn't exist. Then at the exact same time, you have multiple media organizations, ABC and CNN, and The Hill did one too, but I didn't think it was important to put in here. You've got those three different sources all saying, hey, something's wrong. It's in the tone changes from this is the most impactful, however modest, gun deal in history to Whoa, what's causing the snag? What's the big deal? What is the boyfriend loophole? What's that about? Is it red flag law provisions? So there's a shifting that is happening, and you're going to start to see more and more of this, and we're going to be on that like white on rice, like a hound dog on a fox, or something like that. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you got in the comments field below, and I will see you tonight at the night or tomorrow morning on the bullet points. I'm Braden. See you later.